Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
This is Mr. Chris Claremont, a legend.
Melanie goes,
Tired.
What's going on, all you Minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, and today I'm going to be talking about 5 graphic novel hidden gems for the month of September of 2023. So join me. How's it going, everybody? Now, before getting started, if you're enjoying the type of videos that we put out on this channel, please think about subscribing and hit that like button. That is a very small thing you can do, but it means the world to us here on the channel. And ringing that bell for notifications will let you know when our videos are going live if you are enjoying this content. So today I am going to talk about 5 more graphic novel hidden gems. This was a segment that was suggested by you all, but I love doing it every month. Next month will be a little bit different. We're talking about probably 5 horror graphic novels. But today, it's back to the norm of talking about graphic novels that not a lot of people talk about, or I don't see a lot of people talk about them. But regardless, they made the list. Now, some of these you may have read and you may enjoy. Others, probably not. But, you know, everybody's different and everybody has different tastes. But these are just some of my favorites that have been out for a while and just haven't been talked about that often. So in no particular order, let's go ahead and start with The Stone King by Kel McDonald and Tyler Crook, and published by Dark Horse Comics. This was originally published through Comixology, but Dark Horse has been taking a lot of the Comixology books and putting them into print. This one here is rated teen, and it's an all-in-one, meaning that you don't need to buy any more graphic novels. This is the only one that's available, and I don't think the story continues as much as I want it to. So the story revolves around this stone giant and a young thief named Abe. And in this particular town of Stoneport, in order for thieves to kind of get their rite of passage, they have to go and prove themselves. And that's what Abe's trying to do. So this giant made of stone, hence the name Stone King, that is roaming around the town, has this moss that grows on top of it that has healing powers, and that's what she wants to get. And that's what she's doing. She's trying to gather as much moss as she can to pay off some debts and to prove her worth. Now, when she's up there, she comes across the biggest red jewel she's ever seen growing right on top of the giant, and she takes it. Now, this turns out to be a big mistake, not just for her, but her entire town, as this giant is just drawn to this big red stone and wants it back no matter what. So now it's coming to the town, it's destroying the town, and it's up to Ave to return the stone to its rightful owner. But will the owner take it back? Now, she's not alone on this quest. She has her trusty steed, or I guess her trusty Deco, this big creature that she rides on top of. And she's also joined by Full, who is one of the town's guard, but sees the goodness in her and sees the wrong that she's trying to right. This was a really fun story. It's a really quick read. But what really sold me on this were, of course, Tyler Crook's wonderful use of watercolors and acrylic paints and inks. It's just such a joy to see, and hopefully one day we'll see some more of this story. I can see it continuing, and maybe in an oversized format, but as of now, this is only available in trade paperback. Sombra by Justin Jordan and Raul Trevino, published by Boom Studios. This one here is another one that's all done in one, so there's nothing after this or before this, but this one is definitely mature content. It's got a lot of violence, and it's based on a lot of true stories. I picked this up because of Justin Jordan. I'm a big fan of Luther Strode, but this one hits a lot different. Luther Strode tends to be just over-the-top violent, which I enjoy. This one is a lot more true to life. So this is the story of how Conrad Marlowe was a big DEA agent, and he disappeared in Mexico while he was investigating the drug cartel. And years later, he's resurfaced as the cult leader who's made it his mission to just outdo all the crimes that the cartel has been doing in this country of Mexico. Now, there's only one DEA agent that is willing to follow his trail, and that is his daughter, Danielle. So Danielle ends up going to Mexico, and with the help of a journalist, she sees the horrors that her father has done and what people are doing in his name. This graphic novel dives deep into the world of the cartel, and it's one man trying to out-monster the monster. So if you're thinking of Heart of Darkness, you're absolutely right. Both Justin Jordan and Raul Trevino borrow heavily from that. I mean, it's almost in your face how Apocalypse Now this is. But it's just how realistic a lot of the crimes and a lot of the imagery in this book are. So if you can't stomach children being hurt, this is definitely not for you. Because, I mean, we are talking about true crimes and a lot of things that have actually happened. It is extremely graphic and violent, but I feel like it's a topic that not a lot of graphic novels cover. And this is one that's only available in trade paperback. Bang, The Ballad of the Tiger by Josh Greathouse, published by Black Crown Society. This is a continuing story, so there's going to be more than just this one volume, and as you can probably tell, it is a tankobon size, meaning that it's smaller. It's like a manga-sized book, but it has a lot of charm, so I'm going to talk a little bit about this. This is a story that premiered on Webtoons, and as a matter of fact, I will leave a link where you can read the stories if you're interested in this. The beginning chapters are free on Webtoons. So what the story is, it's set in this fantasy world, but it's not just fantasy because it has a lot of martial arts elements to this, which is what I enjoyed about it. It's got a beautiful mix of Dragon Ball meets Iron Fist, or I guess Firepower. Right now that seems to be pretty huge. But the story revolves around this young lady named Cho Bang. And Cho Bang is wearing this hat with a skull on it, and that hat belonged to her father, and that symbol of the skull is the representation of the revolution that is taking place in this world. So the Empire pretty much sends her in exile. They kick her out of her town, so she goes against her will, but she won't be alone in this journey. She's joined by Eddie, who, well, he's got a long name, but she just calls him Eddie. And later on, we meet Yasmin the Blade, who is a complete badass. But what I liked about this story so much is that it did remind me of the simpler days of just going on a journey, picking up right in the middle of a story. And I love when comics do that, when they take me to a place I've never been before. You're not spoon-fed all the little tidbits of information that you need to know. You get the story as you follow the characters. You get to know her relationship with her father and the difference between that and her relationship with her mother. And then you get to find out about Yasmin the Blade and Eddie and what kind of role he plays besides being the comical sidekick. But it has a lot of charm, and like I said, you can check it out on Webtoons for free. I'll leave the link if it's for you. But you throw in monsters, magic, both good and evil, big empires, and some martial arts. That's all I need. It's just a fun book and definitely worth checking out. And the artwork is just so easy to follow. It's phenomenal. I love the different color tones that he uses. It's very minimal, but it gets the job done. It lets you focus more on the contrast between the light and the dark. Now, this is only available in physical format through Josh himself, so I will leave a link again if you're interested in purchasing it, or check it out digitally if you want. Zombies vs. Robots Omnibus by Chris Ryall and Ashley Wood. This is published by IDW. This is one that's been collected in a couple of trades, but I decided to go with the omnibus route because it's more complete. Definitely mature content, but we were just talking about fun with Bang, The Ballad of the Tiger, and I don't know, maybe I was just in a fun mood and I wanted to talk about this book because I hadn't had a chance to talk about it. But oh my gosh, this is so fun. Zombies? Check. Robot? Check. Ridiculously gigantic war that doesn't make any sense? Check. And we throw in some Amazons? How are you not sold yet? This is awesome. The title alone, it kind of reminds me of those classic, yeah, I say classic, but I know they're cheesy. I don't care. They're classic to me. VHS movies during the 80s that I would rent just based on the cover and the title, like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes or Frankenhooker or Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And that's exactly what you get out of this. It's so goofy that we need more books like this. You know, comics are so serious sometimes that you need a break from all the serious tones that we've had. So the pitch is pretty simple. You have a group of scientists that create a time machine that can only transport objects to the past or future. However, humans like us, our bodies cannot be transported due to the physical pressure that is going through the device. So what they decide to do is construct robot suits to wear for entering these time-traveling machines. And of course, things go awry, and it turns into this horrific post-apocalyptic world. And as silly as the concept sounds, it's surprisingly amazing how Chris Ryall still manages to humanize these robots, giving each of the main characters, even though some of them have small roles, but they stick around just long enough for you to care about the characters. Now, as I said, available in trade paperbacks. I think those are a little bit easier to find than the softcover Omnibus, and it is a softcover even though the title says Omnibus. This one is out of print. I think the 2 trades are out, but they're not that expensive. The Probe by Garth Ennis and Amanda Conner, published by Image Comics. Now, this one is definitely mature content, so I'm not really sure how much of this I can show. And if you're offended by crude humor, sexual content, or graphic content, this is definitely not for you. So you may want to skip this one and head to the outro, and I respect that. I get it. Everybody has a different taste in books and comics, so it's not for everybody, that's for sure. This is kind of like, think The Boys. It's that kind of humor. Not as extreme or edgy as Crossed, but almost there. So this was one of Amanda Conner's favorite comics that she ever got to draw, because she told me she got to draw whatever she wanted, and Garth Ennis got to write whatever he wanted. So the premise behind this is pretty simple. A lady of the evening, who we don't even ever get her name throughout this book, is given special powers by the viewer, who's kind of like the Watcher. And she decides, she's approached by this Justice League team of the Saint, the Lady, Knight and Squire, who else is there? The Lime, and Speedo. Yeah, they're all a Justice League rip-off. And she decides to join the team because she needs the money, because she's a single mom, and she was doing that's other stuff for money. But when she teams up with them, they realize that she is very vulgar, and they're like, you do not represent, what are they called? The League of Heroes or something like that. And she was like, fine, all right, I'm out of here. But then she gets their respect later on. It is a really short story. Like I said, very graphic. The costume that they make her wear is ridiculous. It's like a cross of like Power Girl, which you can see the inspiration for Amanda Conner's Power Girl, the way she drew her. But it's so gritty and so different than Power Girl. I can't really compare the two. Now, what I see people miss, though, because they can't get past the crude humor, and I get it, is that there's actually a really good crux to the story. And that's the fact that anybody can be a hero. And it's a social commentary on how the world sees superheroes, how much they worship them. And you can kind of see the starts of the blueprint for what eventually became The Boys. But yeah, The Pro, it's available in trade paperback. There's a oversized hardcover. There's a standard size hardcover. It's been reprinted many times. It's a short and quick read. If you're not easily offended, and you enjoy sophomoric humor from time to time, but it's smartly written sophomoric humor, then check this one out. Now, if you're interested in any of the books that I talked about, if they're in print, check out our sponsors.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltscomicshop.com, and you can use the code NEARMINTCONDITION at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was my hidden gems for September of 2023. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these, what you think about the stories, if they're not for you, if you agree, or if you've read something recently that I should definitely add to a future hidden gems list. You all have suggested so many freaking books that I fell in love with, so thank you all for just keep on keeping on. Leave those comments down below. Thank you so much to our patrons. Could not be making videos like this without you all. Everyone stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.